Welcome to the Calm Mom Podcast, the show for ambitious women ready to get off the hot mess express. I know you've got a lot going on. You work so hard, you're raising an incredible family, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a certified master life coach, attorney, wife, and mom. And years ago, I was right where you are. I was running a busy law practice while raising a family, and I was on the fast track to burnout. I thought I just needed to be more organized or have better routines, but it was learning how to heal and regulate my nervous system that expanded my capacity to gracefully hold more of this big, beautiful life. You too are worthy of an extraordinary life in and beyond motherhood. Learning to be a calm, anchoring presence in your home and at work is going to be your superpower. If you're here to do the inner work that brings a sense of calm amidst the chaos, I'm here to join you on that journey. Each time you press play, your growth continues. So let's get at it. Hello. Michelle here. You're listening to the Calm Mom Podcast. Thanks for being with us today. So grateful for every single one of you that tunes in and listens. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if it's your first time here, I'm so grateful that we've connected. Today, we're going to talk about something that personally I've struggled with in different seasons in my life, and that is insomnia. It might be different. It is different for everyone. Your experience of insomnia might be different than mine. The way it showed up for me was that I could always fall asleep okay. But I would be waking up at 3 a.m. and I would have a really hard time falling back asleep. And it was so frustrating, and I would start to dread bedtime, and I would get anxiety as it would start to creep up because I was just so dreading that 3 a.m. time where I would just snap awake and it felt like everything in my body was just ready to go and I couldn't fall back asleep. And it would take hours, and eventually I'd fall back asleep at like 6 a.m. and then have to get going, 20 minutes later. So regardless of the kind of insomnia, whether you're having a hard time falling asleep or staying asleep, this episode is going to be really helpful for you. So we're going to talk about how you can help your nervous system get into that deep parasympathetic state, that deep rest state that's needed for really quality sleep. But before we jump in, I just want to thank all of you who have left the show a 5-star rating and a short review. I know I say it every episode, but I'm just so grateful when I read those. You guys have no idea how much joy they bring me. My face lights up. It just makes, all the work I put into this show for you guys. Sometimes it makes it feel so worth it when I just can read your words and how much the show is teaching you and how you're putting this stuff into practice and the difference that it's making for you and your family. So for those of you who have taken a minute to leave a 5-star rating and a short review, I'm just so grateful for you. And if you've been thinking about it, or if you haven't done so yet, I would just ask that you would do so today. Number one, because it really helps get the show in front of other women. And it is just my mission that every woman on the planet understands their nervous system and how to regulate their nervous system, because I just believe that women with regulated nervous systems are such a powerful force for good. So if you could join me in my mission, if you would partner with me by leaving a 5-star rating and a short review today, thank you so much. Okay, so let's get back. Sleep, waking up, insomnia. Man, it can just be such a frustrating experience for so many of us. Obviously, having children, having babies, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but I even read somewhere that after having a baby, it takes something like 6 years for your body to return to normal sleep. I don't know if that's true or not. But it's not just like having a newborn, right? For me, it's like my sleep changed when I had children. Even when they started sleeping through the night again, I became this really light sleeper because I was kind of always on alert, right? I was like tuned in to if they were going to be crying or, if they were calling for me in the night or if someone was sick or whatever it was, right? My toddler falling out of bed, like nightmares, all the reasons that our kids wake up during the night. Or maybe you're in a season where your kids are sleeping so well and now it's so frustrating because no one's waking up. No one's climbing into your bed. No one's, screaming for you because they had a nightmare, but you are consistently waking up in the middle of the night and you're really struggling to fall back asleep. And if that's you, like I just want to acknowledge for a moment how exhausting and frustrating that is. I've been there. It can cause anxiety. It can throw off your whole next day, right? You don't feel like ourselves. We feel like we just can't escape it. I know for me, I just felt really stuck, and everything I tried didn't seem to help until I understood what I want to teach you guys today. And I want you to know that it is possible to shift this. I did it, right? And the first step in changing our experience of sleep and nighttime wake ups is really to understand it. So I want to talk for a couple minutes about when you wake up in the middle of the night and you've got racing thoughts and you can't go back to sleep. Maybe you're waking up at the same time every night. Maybe it's like 2:30, 3 a.m., 3:30, and like clockwork, boom, you're awake. And not only are you awake, a lot of you are going to feel me on this, but it's like you have a ton of energy coursing through your body. And you lay there and you're tossing and turning for a while. And then you're like, should I just get up and start my day? Like now it's 4:30, now it's 5 a.m. Like, should I just start doing stuff? Because just laying here feeling like this, it feels like I'm wasting time. So if this happens, if you can relate to this, if you've experienced this, this is a clue that your body is in something called our sympathetic nervous system. It's our body's fight or flight response. And it means that something's going on where our nervous system is just sensing something's off, right? Some sort of threat. It could be a real threat, but more likely it's just some perceived threat. It's sending some signal, something going on in our body, this stress response, like, hey, we've got to mobilize. We've got to pay attention. You've got to move so we can stay safe, right? We got to run. We got to fight to survive. And our nervous system thinks that something is unsafe and that we've got to get up and we've got to do something about it, even though we're in a quiet, safe house, right? Maybe we've been stressing about something at work. Maybe there's something going on with our kids that's causing us stress. Maybe it's a relationship thing. But whatever's going on at this time, early in the morning, our body is like, now's the time to do something about it, right? Fight or flight. And our body doesn't do a good job at differentiating or distinguishing between real threats, i.e. like a threat to our physical safety, the house is on fire, or a perceived threat, right? If I don't get everything done on my to-do list tomorrow, I'm going to be fired and, my husband's going to divorce me, or like whatever awful things go through our minds, right? Our body thinks that a lion is chasing us. That's the fight or flight response. Our body thinks something really bad is happening and we've got to run, we've got to move. But what a lot of us do when we wake up at 3 a.m. with this energy coursing through our body, which I totally get, is we stay in bed, right? And we toss and we turn and we try to stay still and we try to breathe, or we try to meditate, or we try to, think good thoughts, and we try to slow down our brain and all of these things so we can fall back asleep. But what happens is that a lot of times trying to lay there, trying to still your body, trying to calm your mind, trying to fall back asleep will make that fight or flight response worse. It almost amplifies it, right? It actually increases our activation because everything in our body is like, we're not safe, we've got to move. And then we're just ignoring that or suppressing it or pushing against it. And we're trying to lay there calmly, right? So like if we break this down, it makes sense. The alarm in our brain's going off and our body responds. There's a physiological response, right? Our body releases all these different hormones. So cortisol's running through our body and adrenaline and all these things we need to be able to run or fight and stay safe. Every cell in our body is primed to move, and we just kind of bypass all of it, right? We just kind of ignore the alarm of our body and we just kind of stay where we are, and we stay laying there staring at the ceiling, doing nothing. And it's actually the opposite of what our brain and our body is primed and telling us to do. And our nervous system, and you guys have probably experienced this, our nervous system, when it is sounding the alarm and we ignore it, our nervous system isn't just like, okay, cool, you'd rather just stay here and sleep, even though I'm telling you a danger, like, no problem, I'll just leave you alone and I'll shift into a parasympathetic state so you can just relax and fall back asleep. I got you. Like, no, that's not what happens. Our nervous system has a job to keep us safe. So if we ignore it, it does the opposite. Right? The alarm gets louder, more cortisol pumping through us, more adrenaline. Like, you aren't getting the message. I'm going to scream even louder, right? Run, move, escape. You're not getting the memo, girl. And it increases the activation. So instead, this is what I'm going to offer you guys. When you wake up feeling like that, that 3 a.m. feeling, here's what I want you to do instead. Instead of tossing and turning, instead of trying to calm yourself down, instead of like laying there and staring at the ceiling and starting to just get frustrated and antsy and panicked and dooming about how awful you're going to feel all day long, I want you to get out of bed. This is so important. Don't look at your phone. Don't look at screens. Don't turn on the TV, right? Don't start watching Netflix. Don't go all over the house turning on all the bright lights, but just do something to move and mobilize your body to respond to what your body is communicating to you, even though your body is not accurate in the moment, right? It might just be like walking to the bathroom. It might just be, roaming around your house for a couple minutes. It might be walking to the living room and just sitting on the couch and gently and quietly like humming or singing softly to yourself. It might be just getting up and walking to the kitchen and just like sit on the floor and do some gentle stretching or some swaying or some rocking or whatever feels like it would be helpful to discharge that sympathetic, really activating energy that's coursing through your body. Anything that will help move that energy and allow it to release. And when you notice it shift, it'll probably shift in a few minutes. When you notice kind of that like settling of that activating energy, that activating fight or flight energy, then you want to start doing something relaxing. Then you want to introduce something that's going to help your body continue to really shift into that parasympathetic circuit of your nervous system, that rest and digest phase where you feel really calm and tired and you can go back to sleep. So maybe then after you've moved, then it's like listening to calm music or a prayer or a short meditation, right? Or some slow, deep breath work or read a really boring book, right? And then when you feel sleepy, then you go back to bed. Only when you feel sleepy. So if it takes 5 minutes, then you go back to bed. If it takes 45 minutes, then you go back to bed, but only when you feel sleepy. And all of this is really going to support you into getting back into a deep rest for the next few hours until you're ready to wake up for the day. And it's going to help you to start to regulate your sleep cycle. It's going to help you to start to reset your circadian rhythm, all of which are so important for a healthy, regulated, and resilient nervous system. All right, so I'm believing this is going to be helpful for somebody, whether you wake up with racing thoughts and lots of energy in your body. Now you know why that happens, what to do when it happens, i.e. do not just stay in bed tossing and turning, and then a method for just allowing your body to discharge that energy and then introduce something calming for your nervous system. So I want you to know that it's possible to shift this. Now you guys have a better understanding, right? Know better, do better. So you can start to put this into practice. Let me know. I would love to hear from you if you try this, what you notice. If you try it once and you're like, I'm not really sure about this, try it again, right? Try it 3, 4, 5 times, genuinely, right? Approaching it from a place of like, I'm going to get curious about this and start to see what I notice in my body and my sleep cycle. And I'm believing it's going to make the same difference for you that it's made for me and so many of my clients. All right, guys, thanks for being with me today. I love y'all so much. Have a great rest of the day. I'll talk to you guys soon.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
If you enjoyed this episode, it would be so awesome if you could take a moment to subscribe and rate the podcast. And if you have just a few more seconds to leave a quick review, they really help to get this podcast out to other moms like you. I read every last review, and trust me, when it's late at night or early in the morning before my kids get up and I'm working on bringing you all of this content, your reviews are what keep me going. Leaving a review is truly the best way you can thank me. And of course, DM me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to another episode. Head over to the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at michellegrosser.com, where you'll find free resources and more ways to connect with me. If you love the show, share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.